Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the series breaking down the different departments. I am lucky right now to have Amanda Espinoza, a loan processor in San Diego. You're out of Chula Vista? Where are you located?
Chula Vista.
Chula Vista. Now, I think people get confused a little bit about kind of the different departments that you have an originator, you have the processor, and you have the underwriter. Most of the time, the processor is getting involved more so when the transaction's happening, right?
Correct. So yes.
Yeah. Can you walk us through what a loan processor does?
Yes. So basically, the processor, we're the middle person in between the loan officer and the underwriter, and then also communicating. And sometimes, most cases, at least the way we're structured in our company, is where we're also the contact with the realtor and the borrower and escrow and title. So the processor receives the application from the loan officer after they've interviewed the client, gone over their income, credit, assets, and we're basically in charge of documenting everything that's on the application. So basically we have the application and we're grabbing all of the documents to provide proof that yes, Mr. Borrower does make this income, and yes, this is what's on their credit and their assets, reserves. And then we're also obviously having to have the knowledge of what's required depending on what program that we're doing and what documents are required if we need 2 months bank statements or certain amounts of deposits that need to be addressed. We're questioning it and we're gathering the documentation before we provide that to the underwriter, so that when we do provide that documentation to the to the underwriter, we know the story, we know what to back up everything that's on there to make the deal happen.
So the interaction, and I know different entities are a little bit different. For you guys, is it you're dealing direct with the underwriter? Does the originator ever talk to the underwriter? Do they usually go through you as kind of the middle person, or what's that kind of communication like?
So for the most part, it's the originator communicating with the loan processor, and then the loan processor communicating directly with the underwriter. So in some cases, you do have the originator contacting the underwriter, but in most cases, it goes through the loan processor.
Okay, and so you're kind of doing a lot of research, right? When the process comes there, you figure out kind of what loan everyone's doing and just diving deep into it. If someone's trying to hide a student loan, a car payment, that's kind of
find it. Yeah,
exactly right.
Yeah. And most of the times we're not trying to find information to sabotage the file. That's not our intention. And I think a lot of the times it's interpreted that way because we are questioning a lot, or sometimes information kind of just falls on our lap and we have to question it and we have to know how to address it before we do turn it into the underwriter for review.
What can someone do that's looking to buy a house or refinance and they're working with you guys to make the loan processor or your job easier? What's something that someone can do?
Provide the documents to a processor as soon as possible and not delay it, and not assume that we're asking for documents just to make the client's life difficult. We request the documents because we know we're going to need it, not because we just want to ask for more documents. But just I think the biggest the part that holds us back is when we have clients that are not providing documentation right away, because now we do have to answer to the loan officer or the agents that are looking for an ETA as to when they're going to get their clear to close, when they're going to get their docs out. But most of the time we are waiting on documentation from the borrowers.
And I know for originators, I mean, not everyone, but some originators, they'll have a more open schedule. For a loan processor, I'm assuming it mostly is 9 to 5 or 9 to 4 or something like that.
Right. Yeah. We typically, we're not working around the clock like the loan officers are. So typically it's 8:30 or 9 to 5 kind of schedule. But after hours, it would be the loan officers that are working around the clock to communicate with the borrowers when needed.
Well, thank you, Amanda, for being on here. Again, if you're watching right now and you're kind of curious about well, who's calling me today, or what's asking for this, and what's going on here. The loan processor, they're making sure everything's going on. They're doing the research. They're helping you out. They want to make sure you're able to get this property or get the lowest rate possible. And thank you, Amanda, for walking us through a little bit of what you guys do on a daily basis.
Absolutely.